They say somewhere in the deep, where light has never touched and silence reigns over the cold black water, there is a song that no one answers. A lonely, haunting song, carried by currents and echoing off the walls of underwater canyons. It is not a whale song that others respond to. It is not part of any known frequency of kinship. It is different, measured, tracked, but never truly heard. And it belongs to a creature the world calls the 52 Hertz whale. A name, a number, a mystery, discovered by accident in 1989 by the US Navy's underwater listening devices designed to track submarines. This whale emitted a vocalization at exactly 52 Hertz, a pitch unlike any other whale species known. Blue whales sing between 10 to 20 Hertz. Fin whales hover around 20. Humpbacks, though more varied, never reach that frequency. This one did, and it kept singing, every year, across vast distances, alone. What kind of whale was it? That question still has no answer. Some scientists believe it might be a malformed blue whale. Others think it's a hybrid, part blue, part fin, born with a rare genetic quirk. But no one has ever seen it. Only its voice exists, captured in sonar graphs, haunting in its persistence. No pod has ever replied. No other whale has joined. For decades, it has wandered the Pacific, voicing its call into a world that offers no echo. A one-way conversation with the abyss. But why does this story move us so deeply? Why has the tale of the 52 Hertz whale captured hearts and imaginations around the globe? Perhaps because we see ourselves in it. In a world full of noise, how many of us feel truly heard? How many sing our own strange song, hoping someone will understand, only to find silence in return? The 52 Hertz whale is not just a creature. It is a symbol of the misunderstood, of the outcast, of the ones who do not fit the frequency of the crowd. And yet it keeps singing. That is the most remarkable part. This whale, this unseen wanderer, never stops calling. Year after year, its signal has been tracked, crossing thousands of miles. Sometimes near Alaska, sometimes near California. Always moving, always alone, but always singing. It does not give up. It does not go silent. And perhaps that's where the story becomes something more than scientific. It becomes human, because we all want to believe that being different doesn't mean being broken. That loneliness doesn't mean hopelessness. That someone out there someday will hear us. In 2004, a team of researchers from the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution tried to trace it more precisely. They called it the loneliest whale in the world. Media picked up the phrase. Poets wrote about it. Musicians composed songs for it. Artists drew its imagined face. No one had seen it, yet millions of people felt they knew it, as if it was singing for them. There were those who questioned this romanticism. It's just a whale, they said. It doesn't feel loneliness like we do. Maybe that's true. Maybe the 52 Hertz whale has no concept of solitude. Maybe it simply sings because that is what whales do. But still, something in its unwavering voice stirs us, especially in the quiet of night, especially when we feel like we, too, are sending signals into a world too busy to listen. Over time, the whale has become more than a curiosity. It has become a mirror, and in that reflection we begin to wonder, what if there are more like it? What if, beneath the surface of the world, there are countless voices on their own frequencies, unheard, misunderstood, but singing nonetheless? What if we are surrounded by songs we simply haven't tuned into? The ocean is vast and ancient. Most of it remains unexplored. Entire ecosystems exist in its darkness, untouched by human eyes. And somewhere in that watery wilderness, the 52 Hertz whale still moves, still sings, not for attention, not for applause, but because it must, because that is its nature. And perhaps in that there is a lesson. To speak even when no one listens. To move even when no one walks with you. To sing even when the world does not echo. That maybe is what makes it not the loneliest whale in the world, but the bravest. Somewhere, far beneath the surface, a signal pulses again. A soft, distinct echo. A frequency not quite low enough to be a blue whale, nor high enough to be man-made noise. It hums at 52 Hertz. the world's most famous solitary voice, and still no one sees it. After the initial discovery by the US Navy, the strange signal would appear again and again. Each year, from late summer to winter, it would follow a migratory path in the Pacific, shifting just enough to stay elusive. Like a ghost in the sea, oceanographers tried to triangulate its position, using hydrophones strung across the ocean floor. Listening posts left from the Cold War. They plotted its route. The song moved north to south between Alaska and California. Never too far, never too close. Some speculated it was injured, its frequency distorted by trauma. Others thought it was perfectly healthy, simply born on the wrong wavelength. But no matter the theory, one truth remained. The whale was always alone, and it always kept moving. In the early 2000s, stories about the 52 Hz whale began to spread outside scientific circles. Writers called it the ghost whale, the loneliest creature on Earth. One filmmaker planned a documentary to find it, titled The Loneliest Whale, The Search for 52. But the whale, true to form, stayed hidden. Still it sang. The voice never faltered, not once in over 30 years. And with each year that passed, the mystery grew. What kind of creature never gives up its song, even when no one replies? What kind of strength lies in singing only for yourself? People began to write letters to it, yes, to the whale. Strangers who had been through heartbreak, abandoned children, soldiers returning from war, people grieving parents they'd never known, artists, musicians, loners. They all saw something of themselves in this unseen singer. "I understand you," one person wrote, "not with sound, but with silence." The idea of the whale transcended biology. It became a story, a myth, not because it wasn't real, but because it felt more than real. The 52 Hz whale became a legend for the lonely, a creature whose entire life was a search, not for food, not for shelter, but for resonance, for someone, anyone, to answer back. And perhaps the most heartbreaking part is this: we don't know if the whale hears itself. Sound travels differently underwater, reverberates strangely. A whale's own voice might not echo the way ours does, so it may never even know it's different. It may think the world is full of silent companions, or it may know, deeply and tragically, that its song is falling into empty space. We don't know, and maybe that's why we care, because in that unknown we place our own questions, our own longing, our own fragile hopes. Can someone so different still find belonging? Can a song with no echo still matter? Some scientists, moved by public interest, began to dream of finding the whale, not to tag it or capture it, but simply to record it properly, to follow it with respect. But tracking one animal in the vast Pacific is like chasing a single raindrop in a storm. There are no visuals, no surface sightings, just faint sound waves picked up by machines. And yet, that faintness only fueled the fascination. Across forums, poems, novels, animations, and lullabies, the 52 Hz whale inspired voices it would never hear. The irony was profound. A whale who no one heard, now heard by millions. A creature alone, now belonging to all. But it did not ask for fame. It did not know the world had named it. It simply continued, moving through salt and silence, singing a note that did not match and never changing it. If that isn't courage, what is? In a world obsessed with fitting in, the 52 Hz whale did not adapt, did not lower its pitch, did not fall silent in shame, kept singing. And in doing so, it taught us something few scientific studies ever do: that existence by itself is meaningful, that persistence, even without audience, is powerful, that being different is not the same as being lost. Perhaps it was never looking for others. Perhaps it was simply being. But even if it was searching, even if it spent decades hoping for an answer, it never stopped believing that one might come. And if it didn't, that would not stop the song. That kind of devotion, call it instinct or faith, is what gives this story its weight. Not just mystery, but message. That your voice matters, even if only you hear it. That your path has worth, even if it looks nothing like the maps drawn for others. The 52 Hz whale has never been seen, but it has been felt. In every person who ever stood at the edge of a crowded room and wondered why no one could see them. In every artist who painted what no one understood. In every child who spoke a truth that no one heard. In all of us, in quiet moments, who wonder whether the world can ever echo back what we truly are. The whale does not offer an answer. It only offers an example, a reminder that the song is enough. Perhaps one day the 52 Hertz whale will fall silent. Perhaps its song will vanish beneath the waves without anyone realizing. There will be no headlines, no ceremonies. Just 1 year suddenly quiet. The sonar stations will wait for the familiar signal. It won't come. The sea will swallow the last echoes of a voice that sang alone for decades. And still, we may never know what it looked like. We may never confirm its species, its size, its scars, or even if it was male or female. All we will have is what we've always had, its voice. But maybe that's all we ever needed. Maybe the point was never to find the whale. Maybe it was to realize that we are surrounded by unheard songs, and that each one matters. In the absence of certainty, meaning rushes in. The mystery of the 52 Hertz whale becomes a mirror to our own lives, reflecting every unreturned message, every misunderstood soul, every attempt to connect that seemed to vanish into silence. And still, like the whale, we try again. That's what makes this story so human. Not because the whale is like us, but because we aspire to be like the whale, steadfast in voice, faithful to our own rhythm, willing to speak even when the world is silent, to move even when no one walks beside us, to exist fully even without applause. If you listen closely, you might begin to hear how many people are living their own 52 Hertz lives. A teenager discovering their identity in a culture that doesn't understand. An artist creating beauty no one notices. An elder in a care home telling stories no one listens to. A refugee speaking a language no one responds to. They are everywhere. They are singing. And though the world often fails to echo back, the song continues. There's power in that. Not the kind of power that conquers, but the kind that endures. The 52 Hertz whale teaches us a kind of strength that doesn't need to be loud to be brave. A kind of presence that doesn't need to be seen to be real. Some say the whale is lonely, but perhaps it is freer than all of us. It owes no performance, plays no role. It is what it is, a single voice moving through endless water, neither changing itself to be heard nor silencing itself to fit in. It exists on the edge of comprehension, just out of reach, where stories and science blur into something more. And perhaps, in that place, we find a kind of truth we rarely speak aloud. That being unheard does not make your voice meaningless. That isolation does not erase identity. That solitude can still carry grace. We may never find the 52 Hertz whale, but it found us. It slipped through sonar cables and into our consciousness. It became a metaphor, a legend, a silent companion for every outsider, every dreamer, every note that ever drifted into silence. And in doing so, it taught us how to listen differently. Not just for the loudest voices, but for the quiet, the strange, the beautiful frequencies we were never trained to hear. That is its legacy. That is its gift. The world may be noisy, but not all sound is heard. Not all pain is visible. Not all strength is recognized. And yet it exists, like a song underwater, like a heartbeat in the deep, like a whale that sang alone, and in doing so, gave voice to millions. Maybe there are more like it. Maybe there never were. It doesn't matter. What matters is that one song was enough. It reminded us that to be different is not a flaw. It is a frequency, a truth, a sacred note in the orchestra of being. So the next time you feel unheard, remember the 52 Hertz whale. Remember the voice that never stopped, even when silence answered back. And let your song rise anyway, not for the crowd, not for applause, just because it's yours. And because somewhere, somehow, someone might be listening. Or maybe they won't be, and still it will matter. Because to sing like the whale is not to demand an answer. It is to declare, I am here, I exist, I am enough.